Peace, man. Peace, man. I had to speak on this shit about the boomers and stuff, man. This some real shit, man. Where he was talking about General Tito, man. Salute to him, man. I'm post this on my YouTube page and shit. But salute to the brother. And it was like he was talking about the boomers and like my boomer parent, man. You know, I used to sit on this shit because once I left the crib when I was 17. I signed up. I was delayed entry. I was out. So a lot of that stuff, man, like for the most part, I just disappeared. I just threw it to the back of my mind. And I didn't never want to really try to speak on it until recently when people was throwing a little bit of shade at me. So at the end of the day, you know, I had just got a little tired of that shit. You know, I think, you know, with criticism or whatever, you know, they call it a criticism, but I just was tired of that shit. But when he was saying something about how a lot of these dudes were such simps and was talking about female validation and shit. My boomer parent was like that. Like my boomer parent used to beat the shit out of me, man. Like it's just I don't care whatever. He used to hit the shit out of me, and it was always based on being a bully for people that, you know, for people I guess that maybe validated him in some way. That's what and it's just my personal opinion, you know, everybody can have their different versions of their different truths or what they feel. But I go back, I was a child, I was a little boy. A bunch of kids in the neighborhood had stole my bike. Bunch of kids, a gang of kids just took my bike. It wasn't like they beat me up and took it. They just took my bike and they ran off. He went and got the bike back for him, but I was wrong as a child. You know what I'm saying? I was wrong. I was wrong. And he beat me. Yeah, he hit me. He beat me. You know what I'm saying? He hit me in front of everybody. He just beat me up. You know what I'm saying? Whooped me in front of everybody. You know what I'm saying? I can understand, like, as a kid, I wasn't formally trained. I can understand if I was a kid. Like, this is the thing. Like, I get it if I did something wrong and whoever stole the bike from me, like, look, yo, we're gonna go over here, we're gonna square up with this dude, and then we're gonna go from there. If I felt that kind of way, not to try to embarrass it. And that was the thing, the whole you soft for all this other bullshit. So yeah, and I'm like, that's an example. And I wasn't like I was formally trained to box or fight. You know, I'm not really. I was like as a child, I still to this day, I'm not a fighter. None of that type of shit. I never would sit here and claim to be that. You know, I boxed a little bit to stay in shape, but I just, you know, that was later on in my the mid to late 20s and shit. I never was a formally trained boxer, so I'm not gonna sit here in front and play this game with people like I was that type of person. So, yo, it is what it is. Like I'm naturally athletic, so I probably could have picked up the sport, but that's not something I was passionate about. I can throw, I know my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and shit, but you know, I'm not a formally trained boxer. Um, but that's to pretty much make a long story short. Rather than just be like, yo, I'm gonna go over here to this kid's house, y'all gonna fight it out. He beats me in front of everybody. Every time it's something but more I realized with this dude, he was a bully. He wasn't really built like that. My sister one time hit me with a fucking wrench out the toolbox. I beat myself, beat her up for that shit. You know, I hit her and shit, and he beat the shit out of me, man, for that. When it came to women, this dude was the ultimate simp. The ultimate simp, with a lot of these boomer niggas, and you know what I'm saying, all the ultimate simps, man. The ultimate simps. You know what I'm saying? Ultimate simps. But yo, it's just in general. And what other situations, man, I used to peep. But when it came to, oh yeah, the Collins, I used to hang out with the Collins and shit, the boys and girls over at the Collins. So I was young. I was in my early teens, 13, 14, 15, somewhere. I might stay out too late. Like our curfew was when the street lights came on, which is like about 9 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, I think the street lights always came on It might have came on later in the wintertime because, you know, of course, like daylight savings. But when the street lights came on, it was time to come in. So at the summertime, I might stay over too late. We might be hanging out. I might stay 11, 12, sometimes even 1 o'clock. I might have been out over there for hours. You know what I'm saying? After the what's called it, and he had a job or something, so he wouldn't be there. So I guess, you know, I don't know at that time. I might have spoke back on my mom, or I wasn't listening to what she was saying. So the dude he never was the type of person that would ask a question or ask me like, what you doing over there? What's up with that situation? This motherfucker would come in, guns ablazing, hit me with some board, some wild ass shit. I was sleeping in bed. Motherfucker ambushed me and beat me with a board. Shit like that, man. Just ignorant shit. You know what I'm saying? And it goes now into our relationship. The lack of communication, the inability to speak about shit. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. But I get it now. I understand it more as I became an adult. A lot of the stuff I pushed in the back of my mind because I was past it and over it. I don't hang out with my family in that manner. I see them every once in a blue moon. And that's pretty much it. I don't have no, you know what I'm saying? I have no concerns about ever really having some close bond with these people, man. Especially that side of my family, because to me, I don't think it's really that solidified, and I'll just keep it as such. You know, so it's like this type of shit like that, always hitting on me and shit. But I realize with a lot of people, they bullies, man. They ain't built like that. In school, man, one of my cousins from my aunt's side of the family, he was an adopted cousin, so he wasn't a blood cousin, but he was like my cousin. This dude in school, man, hit him with a lock. He was like, we was in like 7th or 8th grade. Hit him with a fucking padlock and punched him in the face and busted his shit open. That nigga was a bully. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna name no names and shit, but he was a bully and shit. You know, I think he did it just to try to get a reputation in the school and make somebody feel some that kind of way. But yeah, he busted shit open and shit. You know, even when I look back at it, I wish I would have said I was a kid. I was timid when I was a child. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't my fault. I wasn't really taught anything. I wasn't taught to fight. I was a boy's boy. I was a boy that climbed trees. I fished. I was mischievous and shit. You know what I'm saying? I was a Dennis the Menace. If you ever watched the comic book, then I was like Dennis the Menace. I was a very mischievous boy. Climb trees, like to have fun. But I wasn't somebody that was engaged in violence and shit. You have to be initiated into violence, yo. You know what I'm saying? You have to go through things to be that way. So it's not even in terms of combat, and not in terms of you know, trying to terrorize people. You have to be able to combat violence with violence if necessary, meaning self-defense. So you have to be taught these things. You can't just be like, hey, you got to come out the womb and have this type of mentality. You know what I'm saying? But it's just that type of shit. Like, he was a bully. I mean, you know, luckily, I mean, in our time in school, because we pretty much grew up together from kindergarten to 12, he never did anything to me. He just joked me. He never violated me like that, because I don't know. My mentality now, if I was that way when I was a child, I might have tried to kill that boy. So it was just like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't never, because, you know, I still had my ways. I used to sit in whatever my little ways of being a country kid. But I probably fucked around and tried to kill that boy. But, you know, that was my cousin. I wish I would have said something or did something. But, you know, it's a few situations in my life I wish I known what I knew about myself now. I'd have helped them out in a better way. But, you know, I have to forgive myself. But it's just like, you know, it was things like that. But these dudes are bullies. If you did the same thing to them, they'd never mess with you again. But that takes it to the situation when I was 16 and we had a fight and I damn near killed that dude. You know what I'm saying? I was going to smash his shit in. And it was just like, yo, if it wasn't for my mom and sister at night, who knows what would have happened. Because it's just like, you know, after a while, man, you constantly beat or hitting on people and you realize that a person ain't like that. When you realize that they soft, it just makes you, it brings you into a rage, man. You realize this person ain't really built like that. Because when situations where you should be showing that you standing up for yourself, when a woman is constantly cheating on you all over the years, and you know what I'm saying, constantly bullying you, you should walk away. You should walk away. No, you didn't show that. I remember a situation with one of my cousins. He was in the dope game. Whatever they was doing in their business, he smashed out windows in our car. He ain't whoop his ass in front of me. He ain't do nothing. Because that dude was providing a certain need for him. A lot of sucker ass shit like that. A lot of people are like that. They be in people's cliques, and since the person is providing some need for them, be it what, they'll let them motherfuckers talk to them any kind of way, use them or abuse them in any manner, because they giving them something, be it a drug, be it money, be it clout, be it reputation. And that's the type of shit that, like, irritates me the most about a lot of people that ain't like that. They soft. My ex-girlfriend that brought out of Williamsburg is like that, I believe. You know what I'm saying? They people that ran around and did certain shit, but when they bullies. They the type of people that, like, if you realize that, like, if you show them that, man, you'll combat whatever with them, then you the person that's wrong. They could be a person that's telling somebody in the background that he's soft, get this dude the gas or the energy to want to kill somebody. Like the dude tried to stab me that night. That was from them bitches. Them bras was the ones who gassed that nigga up. Because there should be no way a man comes into your home that you invited on the strength of somebody else's word, have that type of energy towards you. And all the shit talking this dude was talking on the phone, talking about he was in jail and he did this and that to people. That's the type of shit that I'm saying. But if you combat that shit through violence, or if you can defend yourself through self-defense, but a lot of people, they don't know nothing better than that. But the thing I don't respect about a lot of these people is when you out the bully, they just disappear. They don't fuck with you no more. Or a lot of these people, they'll throw rocks and hide their hands like you was the fucking crazy person, this or that, you know? And that's how it is. They want a narrative and shit. Even with my boomer parent. We went out to this pink slip one night. So we go to the pink slip one night, and we sitting there in the slip, and it was packed in the pink slip. It was some red bone chick that was sitting in my lap. I wasn't paying no attention. We just out there, we drinking, and she's just sitting in my lap. And after about 3-4 dances, she like, you owe me $30-40 for this shit. And I'm like, bro, look, you sitting in my lap. I ain't really asked you for no dance and shit. So why we ain't got no dance? So it ain't. So the dance and shit. I'm like, all right. So I'm like, nah, I ain't about to pay you. And she get the security guard. Security guard like, hey, you need to pay her. And I'm like, I ain't trying to pay because I ain't having the dance. Now this nigga is about to fight this dude. I mean, these niggas, it's like 5'7", 140, 50 pounds. I mean, the security guard was a big stocky ass dude. There was probably a couple of them. Man, we got our ass demolished in that bitch. We got our ass whooped in that motherfucker. But this dude had the audacity when we got out there to sit here and say, oh, you know what I'm saying, you never stand up for yourself, man. Then I pulled a 40 out. I pulled a 40 out from under the seat. And I'm like, bro, if it's not that serious, if I'm in a dangerous situation, I'm about to let go. Now I take the clip out. I ain't gonna sit here in front. You know what I'm saying, because I'm gonna keep it 100. I had loaded the bullets wrong, so I took them out, and I'm like, oh shit, because I was gonna click it, and it then got stuck, and I'm like, oh shit, I loaded them wrong. So I'm sitting here turning them around. I'm turning them around in the clip, and she like, oh son, relax, son. I've been handling weapons since I was 18, since I got in the military. Ain't no big deal. I'm saying the way that the FNH clips was, it's like, it just confused me and shit when I was loading them. I'm like, let me take them around. That's the way, if we in a situation, I'm gonna pull up, and I'm gonna let that shit go. Because I'll be out this bitch by myself making moves. So I'm not playing around with people. But situations like that, that's stupid shit. That's some shit to try to get a reputation. Fuck, I'm standing up for myself in a situation where I might fuck around and get hurt. Come on, man. But this is the type of shit that I've dealt with in my life with a lot of these motherfuckers, man. And I used to try to hold it in, but a lot of times, man, I don't want no dealings with these people like that. One of my cousins, he get married this week, and I'll be there to support and say, what's up, and I'll keep it moving. But outside of that, too much, man. For the most part, I don't want much of a dealings with these folks. But I understand, man, where a lot of these people paying with these boomers, man. We all then experience some shit with these folks. But that's it, man. Salute. Peace.